Hey, Joe Phillips here with Focus Real Estate, Central Park Scoop. I'm here today with Tricia Houston at Mile Hi Pickleball, their new facility that she's opening with Brant, who's acting as camera person today. So I'm here. I know the community's been very anxious and watching as you've been planning and preparing over here. So I'm just here to get this scoop on Mile Hi Pickleball. So my first question, Tricia, is when are you open? Today is definitely not a finished product, but you're close. So when is it coming?
We are very close. Our grand opening is October 18th, and so we'll be open that very first day.
Okay.
And the whole weekend we're going to have a huge grand opening celebration. So you're welcome to come at any time during the week, and then obviously from then on out.
Perfect. And below this post will be maybe a 5-6 minute tour of the facility to give you guys a sneak peek, but we're going to put all the contact info below, your website, how they can get started and register to play and all that stuff. So real quick before we start the tour, I know you as a great mortgage broker, that you've been doing that for a long time. So what made you want to switch? I know you're still doing mortgages. What made you want to do the pickleball thing?
We play, my husband and I play, and we very much were looking to sort of just spice everything up. We do our jobs, we love our jobs, but we wanted to bring this into the community. We play a lot. We play with our neighbors a lot. We started playing in the street, and that was how the whole thing started. And then we started playing, but the nearest place from here is 45 minutes. And so we decided we were going to open one up, and it took us a long time to actually find the building. That was what the hardest part was, because the column spacing and all the different things caused it to, it was about probably 15 months that it took.
Gotcha. Hey, Will. Good. Sorry for the interruption there. That's great. I love when a business owner just like scratches their own itch. There's a need in the community, so they just go out and solve it. And I think that those are the businesses that work really well.
We very much saw the need here because so many people play. And we very much were like, this is a great, and it's a sport that's it's not slowing down. I mean, it is definitely growing, and it's huge, and we definitely are, tapping into it. And Central Park is prime location for this. There is nothing actually anywhere close to being here or towards the airport at all. There's nothing. And so this very much with the growth in our area and then the growth in Green Valley Ranch and whatnot was very much the reason why we wanted to stay here.
Totally agree. We play every once in a while. It gets frustrating trying to find courts. It's busy. It's outdoor. The weather. Huge need. So let's get going on a little tour here, and we're going to run into different people throughout the tour and construction stuff, but it is what it is.
My children.
There's some children around. There might be child labor laws going on. We won't get into it. All right. So before we get into talking about the interior space here, where are we within the community? How do you tell people?
In the community, we are right on Havana and right where the train tracks are. So it's called, they retitled it, it's Havana 37. And so we are in 2 spaces there, so it's unit 305.
Okay, perfect. And I live right by the tower in Central Park on the south side. It took me 5 minutes to get here. So super convenient, I would say, from the north or the south side of the community. So
that was actually why this spot was ideal for us, because we live like 90 seconds from here, and we wanted to be able to be equal for both the south and the north side.
Perfect. All right, so we'll keep moving because I know people want to see the space. So as we're kind of walking through them, tell us what's going to go on in different areas. So
this is our lounge area, and it is very much, we'll have TVs up, so we'll have pickleball playing, but also football and all the sports. Just a hangout space here. And then as we walk farther here, you'll see where we'll have our beer and wine tap.
Oh, I didn't even realize you had a whole liquor license going on.
It is, we haven't gotten it yet. We're very, very close. And then the it's the same tap wall as Stanley has. But we just got a smaller version of it. And so that's going to go right here. And so as we're sitting here, you can play your games, you can have a couple beers, you can play more games, you can come back. And so I worked with a local designer that actually lives in Central Park. She was actually our neighbor. Sarah McGarry. She owns Click Design. She's commercial. And I immediately called her. I mean, she's across the street from me, but I immediately called her, and her firm did all of this. And they did an outstanding job. Outstanding.
It looks great. And like I said, before we started, I love the branding and the look of everything is awesome. So I get to right here when I just walked in a minute ago and I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if you can see it on video, but it's just really massive and spacious. It feels great.
It's huge. It's 21-foot ceilings. which is the big thing in pickleball, is the ceiling height and being indoors.
Yep.
And it is 35,000 square feet with 11 courts. We've added these black things that you see hanging. Those are acoustical panels, because the big controversy in indoor pickleball is the sound. And so that was the very first purchase that we made, was to make sure that those were up to help absorb the sound.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the carpeting that you see everywhere, we used materials that would basically bring in and absorb the sound.
Okay. Let's step over here and just so we can see the courts a little bit. So as we get to the courts, how will play work? Is it just like you come in and you play? Do you have to reserve things online? Do you have a membership? How does that stuff work?
So we're going to do memberships and non-memberships. Anybody can come and play. You don't have to be a member.
Okay.
The pricing is higher when you're a non-member.
Makes
but if you
sense.
only play a couple times a month, it's definitely behooves you just to be a non-member.
Yeah.
If you're an avid player and you play more than 2 times a week, you definitely want to be the member, because that's where the savings is.
Makes sense.
The big difference in the membership is the fact that you can book your courts, and all the reservations open up 14 days in advance for the members.
Okay.
For non-members, it's 3 days.
Okay.
And so when you get into winter, when everybody wants to play, that 14 days versus the 3 days is the big thing.
Do you have a set number of memberships before you're like, okay, we don't have any more available? Or as of right now, you're not sure and it's just like open and you think you have plenty of them?
I think we'll have plenty of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who want to just drop in and play. Some people just don't want to do a membership at all, which is totally fine. Not a problem. You can just drop in, and if there's courts for you, then you can absolutely do it.
Is there like a punch pass thing?
We do. We do have the punch card, very similar to the Orange Theory or the F45, where you can buy the 10-pack, and that will just be for drop-in play.
That's where I feel like I'm at, is like, I can't count on any night or any day that I can be there, but if I have a little punch thing. Okay, that's great. What about general hours, of being open?
So we're doing 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday. And then Fridays and Saturdays we're open till 10.
Okay.
And then on Sundays we're going to close at 8.
Okay, makes sense. Just throwing random questions at you, but what if, I'm one person, I don't have a full group of 4 or 2 to come play or whatever.
That's what open
I show
play
up.
is.
Okay, so when it's open, then there'll just be a system of
open play
working
and
your way
drop-in
into the
play
games.
is working your way in. But then our program director, who we actually hired from the Pickleball Food Pub, she moved here actually, so she lives here. She's the local Central Park.
Okay, great.
Now.
Yep.
She actually has worked really hard on the programming and making sure that all levels are represented here. The thing in pickleball right now is that everybody is either really good and doesn't want to play with the people who are lower level, or they're just beginning and they're intimidated to go play at a lot of the public places.
Yeah.
Right? So we have worked very hard to make sure all levels are represented. And we have beginner, we have brand new, we have beginner, we have intermediate, we have advanced, we have super advanced.
Yeah.
We have all levels. So all of our programming very much represents we're bringing this in so that everybody can play. It's not just really expert or a really beginner, it's everyone in between.
And that's a great thing about pickleball. It's one of the most accessible sports. If you haven't tried it, come try it. It's like very friendly and it's community oriented, and they'll work you into the games.
Yes.
It's not as intimidating as a tennis or a lot of other sports.
No, it's not. And it's an easy sport to learn. It's not really that hard.
Yeah.
The scoring's a little funky, but once you get into that, you're good.
Yep.
It's easy. You can drop in. We go play at Northfield all the time, and you just drop in, and you constantly rotate. You meet new people. It's a very open, welcoming community, and that was also why we thought it would very much work here. Is because Central Park is such an open community and very accepting and inclusive, and that's what we brought in here.
I love it. I got a bunch more questions, but this is already long. We're going to come back multiple times here at the beginning of your business, and let's keep getting the message out. But about a week before closing or before opening, it's looking great. I'm excited for you guys. Thanks for bringing it to the community, and thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you.
All right, take care.